Back in Venice, Shylock was very angry when he found out that Jessica had run away with Lorenzo. He didn't like Lorenzo because Lorenzo was Antonio's friend. When he found out that a lot of his gold and some jewels were missing too, he became even more angry.
"How could my own daughter do such a thing?"
he cried.
"Oh, my daughter! Oh, my gold and jewels!"
He decided to go out and try to get some news of Jessica. He met Salarino and Salanio walking by the canal.
"Where is my daughter? I know you know where she is!"
he cried.
Your daughter? I don't know what you mean,
said Salarino, pretending he didn't know anything about it.
"You both probably helped her escape with Lorenzo."
Shylock growled.
"She is gone, taking lots of my money and jewels. How could my own flesh and blood do that?"
It's hard to believe Jessica is your flesh and blood,
Salanio said.
You're both so different. She is not like you at all.
"How can you say that? She is my daughter!"
Shylock shouted.
Not anymore. She's Lorenzo's wife.
Salarino whispered to Salanio. They both laughed.
But tell us, Shylock,
said Salanio.
Have you any news of Antonio's ships?
"Yes, I have heard many were lost at sea,"
said Shylock.
"I hope Antonio is ready to keep his word."
Surely you don't mean you'll take a pound of his flesh?
Said Salarino.
"Of course I will. And it is the law too,"
said Shylock.
But what will you do with a pound of Antonio's flesh?
Asked Salanio.
"If I cannot use it for anything else, I will use it to catch fish when I go fishing,"
Shylock said.
I cannot believe, Shylock, that you are serious.
Said Salarino.
"I am very serious, and do you know why?"
Said Shylock.
"Antonio laughs at me, but takes my money. He also helps his friend to steal my daughter. He says I am bad because I charge interest for loans. But I am just working. I have to make a living. He has hurt me. And now I want revenge."
Shylock walked away, and the two friends looked at each other. They were very worried about Antonio. Episode 7. Portia's Plan. In Belmont, Bassanio and Portia got married, and so did Gratiano and Nerissa. One day, Bassanio received a letter from Antonio. Portia watched him as he read it and saw his face turn white.
There must be very bad news in that letter,
She said to Nerissa.
Oh, Portia, this is from my friend Antonio.
Bassanio said in a worried voice.
He is in very serious trouble.
Then we must help him all we can.
Portia said, putting her hand on Bassanio's arm.
Anything I can do to help, I will.
Thank you, my love. But now I must explain.
Said Bassanio. Bassanio told Portia how he and Antonio had borrowed money from Shylock. He explained about the pound of flesh.
Antonio says his ships are lost at sea.
Bassanio said.
He can't pay Shylock's money back, and now Shylock wants his pound of flesh.
My dear, you must go to him at once,
said Portia.
I'll give you the money to pay Shylock. Do not let him hurt Antonio because of you.
Thank you, my dear, but I'm still very worried,
said Bassanio.
I will go at once and take Gratiano with me.
Bassanio and Gratiano got ready as quickly as they could and set sail for Venice. As soon as they'd left, Portia sat down and wrote a letter to her cousin, Dr. Bellario, who was a doctor of law. She told him about Antonio and Shylock's agreement and asked him for advice. She then called one of her servants and asked him to deliver the letter as quickly as possible.
Dr. Bellario will give you books, papers, and clothes.
Portia told her servant.
You must bring all these to me in Venice.
I will do exactly as you tell me.
The servant said, and hurried away.
Come, Nerissa, we have work to do.
Portia said to her maid.
We will see our husbands very soon.
Really, my lady? And will they see us?
Nerissa asked.
They will see us, but they will not know us,
Portia said with a smile.
because we'll be disguised as young men.
Young men, my lady? I do not understand.
Nerissa said.
We will leave for Venice very soon.
Portia said.
There, we'll put on my cousin Bellario's clothes. We'll be disguised as young lawyers. I must try to save Bassanio's friend.
Episode 8. The Trial. In Venice, Antonio's trial was taking place in the court. The judge, the Duke of Venice, was talking to Antonio.
You have made a terrible enemy, Antonio.
He said,
Shylock is not able to be kind.
I do not know why I should be kind.
Shylock said,
We had an agreement, and now I want my payment.
But Antonio can give you the money now.
said the Duke.
I do not understand why you will not take it.
Antonio has been unkind and cruel to me.
Snarled Shylock.
Many times he has called me a dog. Now he knows I have teeth and can bite. And I will have my pound of flesh.
Shylock, I can give you twice the money.
Bassanio cried.
For 3,000 ducats. Here is 6.
If you offered 6 times 6,000, I would not take it.
Shylock replied slowly.
I will take a pound of Antonio's flesh.
Just then, Portia and Nerissa walked quickly into the court, disguised as young men. Portia spoke to the Duke in a loud voice.
My lord,
She said,
my name is Balthazar, and I am a lawyer. I have come from Bellario to defend the man Antonio. I know all the details of this case.
You are very welcome. Please speak to the court.
the Duke said.
The law of Venice is on Shylock's side.
Portia said,
If he wants, he can take his pound of flesh.
These are fine words, young man.
Shylock said.
Now I will have Antonio's heart.
No!
Cried Bassanio.
Oh, Antonio, I would give everything I have, even my wife, to save you.
Your wife would not be happy to hear that.
Said Portia with a smile. Shylock was impatient.
Enough!
He shouted.
I am ready to take my payment.
Wait,
Said Portia.
take your pound of flesh. But you must take only flesh. You must not take any blood.
But that is not possible.
Shylock cried.
I cannot take his heart without taking blood.
Also, asking for a pound of flesh makes you a murderer.
Portia said.
You must give away all your money and pay for your crime with your life.
But this is not fair.
Shylock cried.
I did no wrong.
Wait.
Said Antonio.
Let Shylock live. Let him keep half of his money and give the rest to his daughter Jessica.
Do you agree to this, Shylock?
Portia asked.
Yes.
Shylock muttered.
What else can I do? Of course I agree.
He walked quietly out of the court with his head down. Episode 9. Portia's Trick. Everyone in the court was very happy. Bassanio and Antonio walked over to Portia and Nerissa. Gratiano was with them.
You saved my friend.
Bassanio said.
How can I ever thank you?
It is not necessary to thank me.
Portia said.
It is my job.
But I must pay you for saving my friend's life.
Bassanio said.
Here, please take this bag of gold.
No. I do not want your gold.
Portia said.
But let me give you some small thing,
said Bassanio.
so you can remember Antonio's trial in Venice.
Very well.
Said Portia.
You can give me your ring.
I would give you anything except that.
Bassanio said.
This is my wedding ring. A gift from my wife. I promised her I would never take it off.
Portia smiled, and she and Nerissa left the court.
Bassanio, my friend, let him have the ring.
Antonio said.
He deserves it. Think of what he did. It is a very small payment for my life.
Antonio is right.
Said Bassanio.
Gratiano, take this ring and give it to the lawyer with my thanks.
Bassanio took the ring off his finger and gave it to Gratiano, who ran after Portia and Nerissa. He stopped them and gave Portia the ring. Portia smiled when she saw it. Nerissa smiled too.
I will see if I can get my husband's ring.
She whispered to Portia.
Lord Gratiano, I am sure you are pleased with our work.
Said Nerissa.
Do you want to thank me too?
Yes, of course.
Gratiano replied.
But what can I give you?
Your ring will be a good payment for me.
Nerissa said with a smile. Gratiano didn't know what to do. He didn't want to give away his wedding ring because he had promised Nerissa that he would never take it off. But he wanted to repay the young man. He took off the ring and gave it to Nerissa.
Please, take the ring, and all my thanks,
he said. When Gratiano had gone, Portia laughed.
Our husbands will tell us that they gave their rings to men.
She said.
See how easily they have broken their promises. Now I think we can have some fun with them.
Episode 10. A Happy Ending. Portia and Nerissa returned home to Belmont with their husbands' rings. Soon after, Bassanio and Gratiano arrived with Antonio. Antonio had heard that his ships were safe, and he was very happy.
You are very welcome home, my Lord Bassanio.
Portia said.
My dearest Portia, I want you to meet Antonio.
Bassanio said.
This is the friend who put himself in danger so I could come to Belmont and ask you to marry me.
Sir, you are more welcome than I can say.
Portia said.
Gratiano,
Nerissa said suddenly.
where is the ring that I gave to you?
My dear Nerissa, please forgive me.
Gratiano said.
I gave it to a young man.
You promised to wear that ring forever.
Nerissa said.
Gratiano, that was a terrible thing to do.
Portia said.
What can I tell Portia about my ring?
Bassanio said quietly to himself.
Perhaps I could cut off my hand and say I lost the ring in a fight.
I do not believe you gave the ring to a man. I think you gave it to another woman.
Nerissa said.
I did not give the ring to a woman.
Gratiano said to Nerissa.
Bassanio gave his ring to the lawyer who saved Antonio. I gave mine to the young man who was helping him.
Is this true, Bassanio?
Portia asked.
It is.
Bassanio replied.
I am so sorry, Portia, but this was the man who saved Antonio's life.
Then I am married to this lawyer.
Portia said with a smile.
After all, he is wearing my ring.
No, you are still my wife. Please, Portia.
Bassanio begged.
I will never break another promise to you again. I swear that upon my life.
And I swear upon my life that Bassanio will keep that promise. Please believe us, my dearest lady.
Antonio said.
Very well,
said Portia.
Antonio, take this ring and make sure Bassanio does not lose it this time.
She handed Antonio the ring.
But that's my ring. I don't understand,
said Bassanio, taking the ring from Antonio.
What's going on here?
Asked Graciano as Nerissa handed him his ring.
Please, Portia, tell us.
Here is a letter from my cousin, Bellario.
Portia said.
He is a lawyer. It will explain everything.
Bassanio took the letter from Portia and read it. Graciano and Antonio read the letter over Bassanio's shoulder.
So you were the lawyer, and I didn't know you,
Bassanio said to Portia.
And you were the young man who helped him, and I never knew,
said Graciano to Nerissa.
We have the cleverest wives in the world, Graciano,
said Bassanio, laughing.
It is true, and you must always remember it,
said Portia.